Is your family farm's future uncertain? Silence may be the biggest risk of all. Discover how open conversations and gradual planning can secure your legacy and empower the next generation. Don't wait. Start the dialogue today. Learn more and download a transition planning checklist at fcc.ca/knowledge.
Every weekday at 10 a.m. Central, one of the personalities from Real Agriculture appears on RFD-TV and Rural Radio 147's Market Day Report to shed light and insight and perspective on what is happening in the world of agriculture. Enjoy.
Well, host of RealAg Radio, Shaun Haney, joins us now with the latest. Shaun, always a pleasure. Busy day for North American central bankers. The Federal Reserve, Bank of Canada, expected to lower interest rates. You already have your news. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, great to be with you here this morning. So you're right. The Bank of Canada has cut its key interest rate by 1/4 point. Now, that was expected. It moves it from 2 3/4 down to 2.5. Now, for farmers, that means things like variable rate loans, lines of credit, and mortgages may ease a little, while fixed rates are going to depend a little bit more on what happens in something like the bond market. It's a strong signal here from the Bank of Canada that the Canadian economy is there's concerns. It's slowing under the weight of tariffs and some weaker exports in some commodities. And also, obviously, they felt the need to step in and provide some easing here. There's been a series of cuts by the Bank of Canada. So I think we're actually ahead now of where on the number of cuts where people expected at the beginning of the year.
Same expectation for the Federal Reserve. I think we're looking at the same, aren't we?
Yeah, for some, they've been lobbying for the Federal Reserve to cut for quite some time. This is going to be like, yes, finally. So there is an expectation that there's going to be a 1/4 point cut. For U.S. farmers, same thing as what I said about the Canadian farmers. It's going to bring some relief in the area of borrowing costs tied to operating loans, land purchases, and equipment financing. So that's very welcome, especially with some of the concerns about farm profitability here right now. The other part of it, though, is we can expect, 6 months from now for there to be a very different Fed than we see today based on Chairman Powell terming out. So some of the commentary in the future outlook, probably people are going to take it a little bit less with less weight based on some of those changes that are coming.
Absolutely. Shaun, of course, a lot of folks expecting to see what he says in his commentary. That is going to be a big thing, and that's going to be a big play on the markets. What are you thinking? What are you hearing?
Yeah, well, I think there's just a lot of concern about, of course, he's going to be asked about the concern about tariffs related to inflation. We have not seen some of those. We're beginning to see some of those inflationary impacts as, I've trying to interview as many economists and get their commentary on it as I can. A lot of that, that slow pace of inflation has been due to some of that front loading that a lot of businesses did before the tariffs took place. I think for farmers, they're just looking for a little bit less volatility so they can make the best decisions when it comes to things like crop sales and managing their farm businesses. There's been a lot of uncertainty and a lot of volatility, and it's taxing at a time where farm profitability is such a concern.
No doubt. Global economic growth fatigue, I think that is something that everybody is feeling right now. Shaun, thank you so much. Always appreciate you joining us. Host of RealAg Radio, that is Shaun Haney. And you want to catch Shaun on his show, RealAg Radio. Airs 4:30 p.m. Eastern weekdays on Rural Radio Channel 147. That's on Sirius XM. Of course, love having Shaun and the rest of his team join us here on Market Day Report.
Send us your feedback on that bit by sending me an email, shaney@realagriculture.com, or call the RealAg feedback line, 855-776-6147.